blowout winners. Both those lines closed well beyond the number we got down. Got 4 there on the Cavs. Got the help with the Giannis being ruled out. Ended up closing as a favorite. Worked in our favor. Nice to catch a break. 2-0 night. Bit of a crazy night in the NBA again. Portland Blazers, big dog, take care of business at home. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder now in a little bit of a skid. Lakers and the Mavs. Lakers pull it out. Lakers getting some big wins. They haven't been playing good basketball, but they've been beating some of these top teams. It's interesting. We'll see if they continue that little tear here. Bucks look non-existent without Giannis. Lillard couldn't get anything going there. And Toronto Raptors. What trade? They looked great last night. Siakam, who didn't matter. Crazy night in the NBA, John, and we got a lot of action today. 4 bets already out for members. We're going to go through all that. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe below, and let's keep it rolling, John. 2-0 night. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, 2-0 starts. That's nice. A dead under with Hawks and Orlando, but had to sweat it out because that game looked like it was headed to overtime until Orlando knocks down a 3, if you guys weren't watching it, to tie it up. I think it was maybe 8 seconds left. Hawks don't take a timeout, run it right up the court, and DeJounte Murray knocks down the game winner. Matter of time. When is somebody going to take this kid? Because he's a piece that's going to make your team better. Anyway, so what should have been a breeze, we had to sweat that out in the closing moments of that game. But no doubt with Cleveland, just a great spot for them in home revenge. They got beat early in this year. If you remember, we were on the Cavs in that game. Cavs just keep getting it done. Garland out, Mobley out. LeVert was questionable coming into the game. Shot just 1 for 7. Mitchell just taking his game to where he's supposed to be. This is Mitchell that you paid for, and he's playing real good basketball. And then Niang comes up with a 13 for 14 night, shoots the lights out. Milwaukee never had a chance in this one. Cleveland goes up quick. Giannis, no game today. They were off the day before. So I'm going with this. Shoulder is a real injury, and that's going to be something to watch for the Bucks.
You mean to tell me that the Bucks weren't resting Giannis for their 2-game set with the Pistons coming up? They weren't worried about that?
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking they were all right on that. Look, they wanted to get Crowder in, so he's a piece. He came back last night. I think he shot 5 for 13. I'm going to say 4 for 10 from 3. He's a 3-and-D guy. That's what you're going to want from him. I just don't know about the Bucks. They can play some games, but some games they just look like an average team. And then without Giannis, obviously, they're not even an average team.
Yeah, Bucks still got some figuring out to do. We'll see if they make any moves at the deadline. Really, guys, this next couple of weeks here, careful with the deadline. Obviously, a lot of moves yesterday. That Siakam news, that moves things around, and that's going to affect some of the games going on today. Both those teams in that trade yesterday.
And they are now saying that these guys do have a chance to play today. So we will see. They just got a notice that says Brown is actually Brown is now probable. So I'm looking for verification. That I always like to have 2 sites, but Brown might be available. That doesn't mean that Siakam will be available, but it means he
opens it up.
Play if he gets out there on time. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys up to date. I got 4 bets today, but before I get into them, we had a sad situation yesterday. Golden State Warriors assistant coach, 47 years old, heart attack, dies. They canceled the game yesterday, and the Maverick Warrior game already canceled for Friday. And I'm not even going to go there, but just it's kind of the way the Warrior season is going. Yeah. It's just been it's a nightmare, and that this takes on a whole new life, bigger than the game itself. So that's where the Warriors will find themselves. So canceled last night, and because of that, the Jazz aren't in a back-to-back today, and we'll talk about that game. And we'll talk. Let's get started. We'll talk about all the games we got today because we got 4 bets.
Yeah, with a lot of bets today on the small card, only 2 bets yesterday on the massive card. Let's go ahead and dive in. Bulls at Toronto. Top game here. Talked about it with the trade. Bruce Brown upgraded probable. Yeah, Pat Williams to Sonomu questionable here for Chicago. Bulls coming off a bad loss there against that hot Cavs team. They're now 1-2, 0-3 against the spread. Their last 3 games, not playing good ball. Toronto, they snapped a 4-game skid last night. They get the big win there, absolutely dominated the Heat. As far as the matchup history, Raptors 4-1 straight up against the spread last 5 meetings in Toronto. This Raptors team has bodies. They have depth now. You got Bruce Brown coming in. It's going to add some things. I mean, you talk about guard depth. I mean, the only thing they're lacking is a bit of size down low, I would say. But as far as guard and wing depth, they have it probably more than anybody else in the NBA right now. And that's essentially what the Bulls are. That's kind of their identity a little bit. So matchup-wise, great for Toronto. Matchup history favors them well. And a lot of young life. They finally get rid of all the pieces from that championship team. So it's on to a new era. And they look like they were excited for that last night, John.
Yep. This totally different team. All about offense now. Look, since the OG trade, they've just turned it around. RJ Barrett's come in now, averaging over 20 a game, quickly, doing a real nice job. You got to remember, you got Trent. They put Trent in the lineup last night, but taking Siakam out. He's knocked down every 3 in the world. He led the team in scoring, I believe, last night. You still got Schroeder coming off the bench, so you got plenty of backcourt and wings, and Brown will add to that. They're gonna live and die by the 3-point of this team. Last night they lived by it, knocked down 20 at I believe 50% for the game. Raptors shot 53% actually from deep, 20 for 48, I believe it was. So 20 for 38.
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls coming in. Look, these two teams were in mirror images of each other in the fact that they were both looking to deal their stars since last year. OG and Siakam, they wanted to get rid of them last year, couldn't find trade partners. Finally, have gotten it done now. So they've already accomplished what they want. They're ready to move forward. Bulls, they're still in that spot, still looking to find somebody for LaVine and for DeRozan. Bulls haven't been good on the road. While Toronto did play last night, they're deep enough. The game was a laugh for pretty much the whole way. So it wasn't that they were pressed. There's no travel. All that said and done, we took 2.5 with the Raptors.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Raptors front office pulling off those two guys, Anunoby and Siakam. They get 3 real NBA players back and quickly Barrett and Brown, and not to mention the 3 first-round picks as well. I did not think they'd be able to pull off that much in return. So that's a good front office acquisition. We'll see if the Bulls can back that up and do something similar. Next matchup, we got Wizards at the Knicks. Wizards coming off a loss to the Pistons. Lose it at home. Absolutely can't happen there. I know the Wizards aren't much better than Detroit. They do fix a bit of an issue they've had all season long, though. They've been up in the top of the league as far as points in the paint allowed. They're obviously last in the league in points allowed, and they just have no real true size on their team. Make a call to Detroit. They get Livers. They get Bagley, so they add some depth there. They add some size. Gafford, though, he's going to be out. And then you have this Knicks team, just keeps getting it done since the trade. They take care of business against the Rockets. Now 7-2 straight up against the spread their last 9. Knicks own this matchup, could only want the Knicks. They've won 7 of the last 8 meetings. It is only 5-3 against the spread. And we got to look at some under trends here, John. Knicks been playing great defense as of late.
Great defense. So since the trade, 7-2, 6 of the 9 games have held opposite opponents to 100 points or less. They're averaging 99.9 points per game, which would be by far leading the NBA since the Anunoby trade. Washington does give up the most points in the NBA, but playing towards the under a little bit more lately. I'm all over the under in this game. This series has trended under. 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone under, both this year at an average of 222.5. The way the Knicks are playing, their last 5 Knicks games are averaging 208.6. This has got underwritten all over it. We went under 235 in this one.
Then we got the opposite of a low-scoring matchup, Thunder and Utah. 2 high-scoring, up-tempo, young teams. Thunder coming off of back-to-back losses in LA, one against the Lakers, one against the Clippers. SGA and Holmgren, bad shooting that game, 8 for 26. And this Utah team, we touched on it yesterday. Obviously, they did not get their game played with the Golden State situation, but that's an extra day of rest for one of the hottest team in basketball right now. 9 straight wins at home, 12-2 their last 14, playing terrific basketball. OKC did get a win at Utah last meeting there, but Jazz have won the prior 8 in Utah. got to be a look here for the Utah Jazz. Absolutely red hot, catching points at home. I think someone on the Instagram Live a few minutes ago called it a trap game. Not necessarily a trap. OKC is the better team. Utah just playing much better basketball right now.
Look, OKC is the better team. There's no question about it. But since that win over the Celtics, January 2nd, playing average basketball, 4-4, just 3-5 against the spread. Couple of games in LA against the Lakers and the Clippers. SGA just wasn't 100%. He was questionable for both games, keep in mind. Shai shooting over 55% for the year. He shot a combined 15 for 35, under 43% in those two games. So he may be coming in a little nicked up with the knee coming into Utah. Utah's on a long homestand. They're just drilling teams. Mm-hmm. They've had only one game that was less than double digits during this homestand. And while OKC is third in the NBA, scoring 121.9 points per game, during this 6-game win streak that the Jazz are on, they're scoring 130.8. I don't know how they're getting 3 at home. I took 3 yesterday. The number is now 3.5. The number is even better. I've got no injury questions on the Jazz at all. An open question on SGA. Also, OKC travels after tonight to Minnesota. Remember, OKC's in the second place right now. Minnesota's in first place. This spot has got Utah written all over it. Look, OKC beat them in Oklahoma City, 134-120. It's when the Jazz didn't have everybody. Jazz were a different team then. Now, Thunder have won the last 4 meetings. They've won and covered the last 4. 3 of them a few of them last year. This was a different Utah team. It was towards the end of the season. It's a different team. Prior to those 4 straight, Utah had won 8 straight, and they've won and covered, and they've won 4 of the last 5 in Utah. Just no way I could see them as a 3-point dog. And you guys, like I said, can actually get better. As of right now, 12:30, you can catch 3.5. Better number than I took.
We'll see if Utah Jazz make it 10 in a row at home tonight. Keep on playing. We mentioned that bit of a look-ahead spot there for OKC to Minnesota. Minnesota also going tonight. They're hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies coming off a nice team win there against Golden State, 116-107. The free throw discrepancy was just ridiculous. 32 for 40 compared to Golden State's 9 of 10, over tripling their free throw attempts is just ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw the clip there of Draymond on his podcast talking about G.G. Jackson, who him and Williams had a big game. He got uninvited to a Steph Curry camp, and that was one of those extra motivational things. And that's always got to look for those extra angles, different reasons guys might get up for a game. That was one. You got Minnesota here coming off a win against the Pistons yesterday, but they did not cover. Detroit been hanging within some numbers lately. Wolves now 4-1 their last 5. Same situation here. You got them with OKC coming up next. Big number here. Memphis, a lot of guys getting opportunities, and that's how they pitched it to the team. Hey, we're banked up, but a lot of young guys, you get opportunities, prove yourselves. So far, they proved themselves.
Yeah, so you got many coming back-to-back from Detroit, and they've got second place OKC coming into town on Saturday. This is just a perfect spot to sit some guys. Gobert played 38 minutes last night. Conley, always a candidate to sit in a second half of a back-to-back. My guess is at least one of the starters sit tonight with OKC up next against a Memphis team that Minnesota has drilled twice at Memphis. Mm-hmm. So you got a Memphis team. Yes, they're absolutely decimated, but they've been solid on the road, got a little home revenge. You got Minnesota in kind of a sandwich game, looking ahead to OKC off the back-to-back might rest players. This was a no-brainer. We took a baker's dozen, 13 points on this game this morning. This one's now down to 12.
And then last game on this short card, Pacers at the Kings. Originally was a bit disappointed. No Halliburton, getting my hopes up that he is now upgraded to questionable in this game. Just as an NBA fan, obviously with this matchup, would love to see Halliburton in it. Glad to see Siakam. They're probably not going to play in this, but if Bruce Brown gets upgraded to probable, maybe, just maybe Siakam gets put in to play tonight. I have to take a look at that. a lot of injuries here on Indiana's side, and that can really take this line, much lower or much higher. So we have to wait to see what's going on here with the Pacers. But as far as the matchup history, Kings 4-2 last 6. And it's just a really, really good spot for Sacramento to bounce back. They're coming off 2 disgusting road losses. The overtime loss at Milwaukee, up 7 in OT, let it slip. Dame hits one in their face. And then you go and you blow a 22-point fourth quarter lead to the Suns. I imagine Kings are coming back, wanting to get those out of mind and get a big win under the belt.
Yeah, Pacers have dropped their last 2 on the road. So they've now played 4 games without Halliburton. And as Ben said, they moved Halliburton up to questionable. He was supposed to be out 2 weeks. Still don't know if he's going to play tonight. The only thing, remember, this is where he came from, Sacramento. So he might have that thing, wants to go back against the old team. So we'll see. But this is a different team. Without Halliburton, Pacers lead the NBA in scoring 125. Where's my numbers here? 125.6 points per game. In the 4 without Halliburton, just 113 per game. So totally different team. Besides Halliburton, got Mathurian questionable, Naismith questionable, Topin questionable, and Brown is gone. Will Siakam be there? So to give a whole rundown on this game, tough. Really can't do it. Got to know who's going to be playing, and that's why you become a member. This is the one of the 5 games that we don't have a bet on. Again, this is how the NBA is. You'll have a 10-card game. You might have 1 bet, sometimes no bets. And then I got a 5-card game, and you got to bet on 4 of them. This is where we see the edges today, guys.
Yep, guys, 4 of the 5 games so far. If we add on to that 5th game, become a member so you can find out about it based on the injury info we get with Indiana. With all these games, any injury info will be up to date on our app and our website. You can sign up and check it out there. A little bit late on getting this to you guys, so we try to make it a bit of a quicker episode. We'll have some NFL touch-in again tomorrow with the NFL weekend coming up, John. Other than that, 2-0 night last night, and let's see if we can keep it rolling with a big night tonight.
Yeah, no, I like the card tonight. Let's see what happens, and we'll be back here tomorrow as we are every weekday. Usually try to get posted at 1:30, so guys got to help us out. You got to subscribe, you got to like, and you got to comment, and then check us out on Instagram. We go live there every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, and if you want to interact with us, that's the time, or you can leave your comments here, but if you want to interact with us, we're open to all questions, positive and not so positive.
Yeah, bring all your questions, guys. We're here for them. Like John said, like, comment, subscribe below, and hey, let's make some money.
Let's make some money.